Welcome back. This is John Locke, and today I'm talking about featured snippets. Are they really desirable? Okay, first let's define what a featured snippet is, why this is even a controversy, and we'll look at the history of featured snippets and things that recently changed. Again, I'm a little late to the party with this, but you might see articles or discussions about this in different forums on social media or in SEO. So let's take a look. So a featured snippet is a result that's on page one of a search results page. So if you type something in Google, it will be right at the top of the page, and it will be a big box. It will be an actual box with a segment of the text from that page, usually an image to the right, and the text, the font, will be a little bit larger than the results that follow. Now, this is something that's been in effect for a few years. Okay, and the way that featured snippets used to work is you would be able to have the featured snippet at the very top of the page in what they used to call position 0. That's operating on the assumption that most search results pages on the first page have 10 results. Okay, so this one would be position 0 would be at the top, and then there would be 10 regular results after that. And you could appear both in the featured snippet position, and then you could also appear in the links below. And most of the time, the featured snippet was from page 1. I think there was very rare cases where it was from page 2, but I never saw any in my time. I always saw them from the first page. Okay, so how they work now, how they've been working for a little while, is they took away the duplication of that. So instead of having 11 results with the top one being a featured snippet and then that same result in a regular a result again appearing on the page, what they've done now is basically if your search query, if the words that you're typing into Google produce a featured snippet, which I think they say it's like maybe like a third or so. I don't know the exact number, but I think I read recently it's about a third of all results have a featured snippet. Don't quote me. But now basically you have the featured snippet at top, and then you have the remaining 9 links, and that result doesn't appear twice. So if it's at the top, it's the de facto number 1 result. Okay, so here's where the controversy comes in. So a lot of SEOs were doing studies or whatever, or there was things being written, there was blog posts being written saying that the click-through rate for the featured snippet was less than having the position below it. So if you were a featured snippet number 1, having the number 2 position would be a higher click-through rate. And people were saying, what's better? Like, how, should you try and not have a featured snippet? Should you try and be number 2? And to me, this is like a complete, it's a no-brainer. You want to be number 1. You want to be in that featured box if you can get it. And it doesn't matter if the click-through rate is, a couple percentage points lower. It's the first thing that people are seeing in organic results. It's the first thing that they're seeing on the page. Of course you want to be that. It's a no-brainer. Even if the, click-through rate is a tiny bit lower for the number 2 position, maybe people think the featured snippet is an ad. I really don't know. But the fact of the matter is you want to be that number 1 position because people see it. you're still going to get a lot of clicks. I mean, you're definitely still going to get a ton of clicks. But you don't know how Google is going to change their search results pages in the future. And being the de facto number one, and being number one for an extended period of time, has an advantage. Now, we did a video back a while ago all about the power of being the incumbent number one for a lengthy period of time. If you become the number one search result for a query or a set of search queries, and you stay at number one for a long time, Google obviously feels a lot of confidence that your result is a good result. And it's going to take a lot for somebody to come up and create something that's going to knock you off of number one. Now, they might try and test different things at some point, because again, you can't know if something's better, a better result, unless you give it a push. You push it to the first page, and then you get some numbers, you get some data, and then maybe you push it to the top 5, and then you get some data and see if it performs well. And then maybe you push it to the top 3, and then maybe eventually you push it to number 1. That's usually how it goes. But most of the time, if you're at number 1 and you've been at number 1 for a long time, you have a little bit of an advantage, because Google is going to be really hesitant to push something else to number 1 if people seem to be happy with what the result that they're getting at number 1, and there's nothing in the data that's telling Google like people are not converting, or people aren't getting what they want, or they aren't getting to the destination that they want to. They're getting everything that they want. So to me, this is not even a question. Yes, you want to be number 1 as the featured snippet if you can get it, because you're the number 1. That's basically what this is. This is, it might treat it differently, but essentially Google's saying, if we put this as the number 1 thing on the page in organic and people click it and they're happy with that, yes, that's going to be good for you long term. And that is what you want. You want to have Google cement you in that position, especially in searches where there's not a lot of competition. This will happen. If there's a lot of competition for this term, I mean, obviously there's going to be a lot of fluctuation. But in searches where there's less competition, maybe in a local SEO situation, that's good for you. So keep it up. Get that featured snippet if you can, or get to number 1 and maintain it. And one thing to keep in mind too, continually improve your page. You know, add extra information to that page if you see a lot of fluctuation below that number 1. Because that means Google is testing to see if there's anything else that might potentially deserve to be higher ranked. So if you see a lot of fluctuation on page 1 below the number 1 position or below the featured snippet, that is a sign that you should, you know, continually be looking at ways that you can improve or give people what they want or what they expect to see when they type that particular search phrase in. Hope you have some time to think on this for a minute. Okay. My name is John Locke. My business is Lockdown Design and SEO, and I'm here on a daily basis giving SEO tips and advice. I would love for you to subscribe, because we are almost at, what are we at now? We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers. We're above 600. We're on our way to 1,000, and we're getting subscribers every day, which is amazing. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll be here tomorrow with a new video, and until next time, peace.